Welcome to this edition of IIUSA's EB-5 Voices. Today we're going to be talking about the power of presence and advocacy on behalf of the EB-5 industry and ecosystem. My name is Aaron Grau. I'm the Executive Director of IIUSA, and I'm joined today by George McElwee, IIUSA's lobbyist and founder and president of the Reserve Component, by Mike Zenick, Senior Managing Director and partner of Invest America and a member of IIUSA's Leadership Circle, and Bob Kraft, Chairman and CEO of First Pathways Partners and President Emeritus of IIUSA, as well as our PAC Chairman. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to the conversation. To set the stage, I just wanted to say a few words about advocacy and impact in general. Without it, the EB-5 community would have absolutely no voice on Capitol Hill, at least no unified voice. And it's important to have that unified voice because of the complexity of the ecosystem that we're in. There are several ways that IIUSA advocates. We have direct lobbying, thanks to George McElwee and his team at the Reserve Component. We have a dedicated political action committee, and we have a grassroots initiative that leans heavily on our leadership circle for fly-ins, which we'll discuss every quarter. The grandfathering provision, which expires in 2026, as well as the reauthorization itself, which expires in 2027, compounds the complexity of the conversations that we're having on Capitol Hill. Not only are we needing to explain how EB-5 impacts congressional districts and states, the ramifications of job creation, and the complexities of investment projects, but we're also wading through the ideas of two deadlines that are critical to the EB-5 system. George, let me turn to you first. And can you walk through the essential roles of lobbying for just a few minutes and what we do on Capitol Hill to address these complexities?
Yes, thank you, Aaron. Lobbying is essential for IIUSA because it ensures that the EB-5 Regional Center program remains authorized, stable, and aligned with Congress's intent to drive U.S. job creation and investment. It also allows the industry to educate policymakers, protect recent reforms, and advocate for policies to strengthen investor confidence and economic impact at no cost to the taxpayers. We do this in a lot of ways, and the number one is being present. We need to be present on Capitol Hill and meeting with those policymakers and their staff on a regular basis. For me, I'm up on the Hill very frequently, meeting with staff and talking with them about what is going on in Congress, and then also how we can align our messaging with Congress's overall agenda. We also do this with quarterly fly-ins. Members of IIUSA will come to Washington, D.C., and we will go as teams onto Capitol Hill, and at times meeting with 30 or more offices during that fly-in. So that is what we're trying to do, is remain a constant presence on Capitol Hill to educate those policymakers as we look to reauthorize our program. Prior to lobbying, I spent nearly a decade on Capitol Hill. 9 of those years were chief of staff to a member of the House of Representatives. During that time, I was always encouraging folks to come to the office and tell us what they were doing in the district. EB-5 has a great story to tell. We have projects in over 200 districts around the country. That means that we need to go and we need to talk to those offices about what we're doing and the job creation that's coming with those projects. This is how we're really going to be able to communicate to members of Congress the value of EB-5 and why we need to make sure that this program is here for the long term. So IIUSA's presence on Capitol Hill plays a key role in doing that.
Thank you, George. Mike, George referenced our fly-ins. The leadership circle of IIUSA is present on Capitol Hill at least 4 times a year. Can you tell us what that looks like as a member of the leadership circle and someone who's been on the ground? And how do you feel our fly-ins make a difference?
I've been to 2 of them so far. And the first time I went, it was kind of an eye-opening experience for somebody that's never done it before, to kind of see how our government works. And what I've been impressed with the IIUSA fly-ins is it's extremely organized. The team has paired up the team, or each of the individual teams, with the right people, the right congressmen and women, the right senators, whatever it is, and addressing very poignant points, very specific points, very specific message that's unified across all the teams. And I found that it makes not really easy because it's kind of it's a little intimidating walking into the Capitol building sometimes, but it is important to understand that these meetings are very, very organized, and we have this unified message. And it's really, it doesn't really, it allows us to not have to worry to kind of go off the cuff. And it allows us to have a very dedicated conversation. One of the things that I was really impressed about was these staffers, and obviously it ranges from office to office, but what I really found interesting is the staffers that really have done their homework before you walk in the door, and they hear what you're saying, and they want to hear what you're saying, they want to give you the time. Those are the people that I think are really, helping make a difference to what we're doing. And I do believe that we've got the right strategy when it comes to talking to these people. I also, see that the work we've done in the past, you can see the consistency or the buildup of what we've done in the past to what we've been doing recently. Because now we're getting to the offices and people know what the EB-5 program is. Whereas before, you have this sort of very set period of time where you have to get all your points in. And before it was, 50 to 80% of that conversation was explaining to them what EB-5 was. And now we're not just explaining that, kind of get right to the point. What do you guys need? What can we help you with? And that allows us to get to our concentrated points in a timely manner, and also to get the point across that this is something that we need it now, and let us know how we can help you get it to the finish line.
Mike, thank you very much for that. Bob, George has talked to us a little bit about direct lobbying. Mike has given us a pretty good picture of what our grassroots initiatives are like when we actually have our leadership on Capitol Hill. So we've talked about lobbying, we've talked about people. Can you talk to us a little bit about the politics and how IIUSA has become involved in the development and use of a political action committee, and how that's another way for us to advocate for what's important for the EB-5 system?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. It's interesting. So IIUSA is the preeminent advocacy group for the EB-5 industry. And in the past, there were a number of competing groups, and there are a number of different messages. And we were successful with the legislation which was passed in 2022. And it was really a result of the hard work put in by IIUSA. One of the recommendations made at the time was to establish a political action committee to make it even clearer to members of Congress where the money was coming from. In the past, IIUSA has done a really good job of getting members to contribute individually to offices in support of the program, but those contributions were from Mike Zenek or from Bob Kraft or whoever, and would kind of get lost, in the overall picture with respect to that money was meant, it's in support of IIUSA. With the PAC, it is clearly understood that money is coming from the industry, from IIUSA. And it's just amazing. George and Aaron recommended that we establish a PAC, and we're going on 5 years now, to formalize and to professionalize the fundraising efforts, and then also the giving, so that the office knows specifically where it's coming from, and they accept the funds, and they're clearly in support of IIUSA's objectives. So it's been a huge benefit, and we've really gained a lot of momentum and acceptance, and we've done very well from a fundraising standpoint. Starting from scratch, we built a nice account, and of course we're always looking for more members to contribute, because it really helps drive home the IIUSA message. And as Mike said, we're kind of on the same page in all our congressional meetings as an industry, and it's really exciting to see the level of knowledge and support we now have in Congress through years and years and years of working the Hill, but it's even becoming more obvious that we've got really strong support throughout Congress, and PAC is a big piece of the puzzle, if you will, with respect to that advocacy effort.
Thanks, Bob. So we've talked about direct lobbying, we've talked about grassroots and fly-ins, and we've talked about IIUSA's Political Action Committee. All of them are key elements of IIUSA's presence and advocacy on behalf of the EB-5 community. I can honestly say that if you are an EB-5 stakeholder, IIUSA needs you to help support these initiatives. And what's more important is that you need IIUSA. We are the voice for the EB-5 system, and there's been no more critical time than now as we face down the two deadlines of the grandfathering provision in 2026 and our reauthorization in 2027. Mike and Bob, I'd like to give you guys the last word as members of the association. If each of you could, perhaps in one sentence, say why you feel someone should join IIUSA. Mike, I'll start with you.
Sure. Well, since we joined IIUSA, we were members many years ago, took a few years off, and then rejoined several years ago, and been consistently a member of IIUSA, leader of the Leadership Circle, and also making sure that we're involved, we're sponsors, we're really being active. And what that really does is it creates an awareness of your specific company and what you're doing amongst the industry leaders in IIUSA. Every industry leader in the EB-5 industry is a member of IIUSA. So if you want to be an industry leader, if you want to have an impact on what happens in Congress, what happens with the program, give your input on things that need to change or things that are doing well, then join IIUSA. There's many educational programs and lots of different resources that are very valuable that our firm uses and that our team uses. And we're very excited to be a member of IIUSA for many years to come.
Great. Bob, what are your thoughts?
I joined IIUSA in 2007 when the company was first founded. And it's just amazing as I look back over time how the industry has grown and transformed. And the association really deserves a lot of credit for that. IIUSA is the recognized leader in the industry globally. So for people that are thinking about joining the organization, the networking opportunities, as Mike mentioned, all the different educational opportunities, and just the credibility that comes with being an IIUSA member in terms of fundraising or whatever your role might be as part of the ecosystem of EB-5 is enhanced significantly. It's exciting to be part of it. It's been exciting to be involved from the legislative standpoint, the fly-ins, all the different things. Plus, the association does a really good job from a marketing standpoint in terms of providing platforms, the Passport series, for people that are interested in explaining what their projects are all about. Those have been a huge success, and I can't think of a better way to get to the market than the Passport series, and that's not offered by any other organization. We are the organization. We are the voice for the industry, and we're the dominant provider of services and knowledge, if you will, with respect to what's important, how to conduct business ethically, and it's a joy to be a part of it, and it's been very exciting to see the growth.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much for your time. If anybody watching this IIUSA Voices edition has any questions about joining IIUSA or would like more information about our advocacy on Capitol Hill, whether it's our grassroots initiatives, our direct lobbying, or our political action committee, please visit www.iiusa.org. We thank you for your time, and we wish you all good things.